What's up, everybody? Big E back in the house. That's right, Big E back in the house. No longer the junk food Jedi. We went through a channel rebranding a couple of months ago, and I think I like the name change. Thank you for coming back today. Sorry it's been a while since we posted. The end of the year got crazy. The new year's been crazier, but now it's time to get crazy in the kitchen. Today we're going to kick off with a sweet treat for your sweet tooth, and I'm going to call it Cheater's Caramel Corn. And guess what? This recipe, this video goes out to a very special young lady, which I'll mention more about after the video is over. But hey, let's get started. If you've been around me any length of time at all, there's one thing I love. Well, there's several things I love. I love my Lord, I love my wife, I love my kids, and I love popcorn. I could eat it day and night, anytime. If you have fresh baked popcorn, I want to eat some. I can smell it out, I can find it. I'm like a hunting dog when it comes up, and I can smell it in the hallways somewhere. I even have the popcorn machine at home. It's a beautiful popcorn machine. I repainted it last year. However, one thing I don't like about it, it is extremely messy to clean. But I've got a little trick for you that I'm going to show you in this video. Now, here's what you need. You need a medium-sized pot. How big is that? I don't know. I didn't look. You also need kernels. Werther's Original Caramels, yes, the hard one. Popcorn salt, don't skimp and get the cheap table salt. Get the popcorn salt. You can get it at Amazon or Sam's Club. It's called Flavacal. That's the best kind that I use. For our recipe today, I also am going to add dry roasted peanuts. Thank you, Aldi's. And I'm going to use something a little healthier. I'm going to use buttery flavored coconut oil. You can also use the popcorn oil that's inside Walmart, any grocery store that you go to. It'll work just fine. But today I'm going to use the buttery flavor. I've used it a couple of times. It doesn't leave a heavy taste in your mouth. And it actually doesn't taste like coconut. So, who knew? Now, to get started with your popcorn, get your pot on about medium heat. You should do it. Let it warm up nicely. Put about 3 tablespoons worth of the butter in there, just enough to barely cover the bottom. As you can see, barely cover the bottom is not what I did here. I actually put a little bit more than what I should have, but that's okay. Just want to give it more flavor. Don't panic if you put too much in there. You want about 3/4 cup of popcorn kernels. I use yellow popping corn. This is the Walmart version. And then of course, your popcorn salt. Now listen, some people want to say you don't need this much salt in your life. And I'm going to say you don't need that kind of negativity in your life. You do you, boo. That's all I'm saying. Once you get that and your popcorn oil gets heated up, which ours is now melted, we're going to drop in our popcorn and we're going to let it cook. Let that salt dust just permeate the atmosphere. Once you get it in there, you want to get your little wooden spoon or something to stir it around initially to melt all the salt and the butter together. Once you kind of do all that, let me get you a better shot here. My camera skills are a little poor today. When you kind of get it set your spoon to the side and let it start cooking. Now you want to kind of move it around like you see here. Like you see here, there we go. So your popcorn kernels are covered. Now, biggest thing, get your lid on there because it's going to make a mess if you don't. I'm gonna do 2 batches today because like I said, I love popcorn and we'll get started. But while you're doing this, I'm not gonna make you watch the whole thing. We'll come back when it gets exciting. You wanna kind of keep moving your popcorn and butter and salt back and forth. Just gently slide it back and forth on the stove until it goes. You can see our lid is now steaming up and it's getting ready to start popping. The aroma that is kicking off already is really nice. As you can see, our popcorn is slowly starting to pop, and any second it's just going to go crazy. I'm going to keep gently shaking it back and forth to get the popcorn to stay kind of evenly coated on the bottom. Be careful not to put too many kernels in there because you can end up with a lot of leftover popcorn officers, and we don't want to have those breaking our teeth. Now you're going to want to take the lid off while you're cooking, but you need to leave it on, let that steam help cook the popcorn faster. As you can see, in no time whatsoever, I've literally been here less than 5 minutes, that it's going to take off and get going. Look at that. That's beautiful. Let's watch it pop up. Still stir it just a little bit. Once it starts popping, it's going to go really, really quick. As you can see, and it's going to fill up our pot, guaranteed. Let's watch. We'll call this popcorn ASMR. I don't know where the accent just come from. By now, you don't really need to keep shaking it. You just kind of watch it and listen for it. Much like microwave popcorn, you're going to listen to when it kind of has 1 to 2, 3 seconds in between each pop. And once it does, then you want to dump it in your bowl. If you leave it in there too long, you will burn it. And you don't want to burn it because it's got to go back in there with the hot caramel. As you can tell, it's kind of got about 1 to 2 in between each pop. So we're going to take our lid off, set it to the side. Be careful, don't burn yourself. And then we're going to transfer this to our bowl. I've got a fairly large bowl because, like I said, I'm doing 2 of these. So let's get that going for my popcorn burns. Okay, here goes round number 2. Okay, our popcorn is popped and we're going to transfer it to our bowl, already filled with popcorn. Oh, that's a good sound, isn't it? I feel like hearing that sound. What you looking at? Okay, now that we have our delicious popcorn popped, and yes, it is delicious, we're going to do our caramel. Now, this is called Cheaters Caramel Corn. Now, I'm going to explain why it's called Cheaters in just a moment. So I'm going to put just a little bit, maybe a tablespoon of butter down in the bottom of my pan just to keep it nice and oiled. And then I'm going to drop about 40 to 50, yes, 40 to 50 Werther's Original caramels. Yep, the hard ones. And yes, I did unwrap all those caramels. So I'm going to drop them in here. Woo! Sounds like glass breaking. Everything's okay, babe. We're good. Just making caramel corn. She don't know I'm making caramel corn. I don't think she heard me. Okay. So now the thing with caramel is you got to keep it going. This is why you need your big wooden spoon. You need to keep it going. Otherwise, you will burn your caramel. Now, you're saying, why is this called Cheaters Caramel Corn? Well, because we're cheating by using caramel that's already made. Sure, you could absolutely make caramel corn with brown sugar, butter, vanilla, and have really good homemade caramel corn. But if you're in a pinch and you need a snack quick, well, I got you hooked up right here, baby. Cheaters Caramel Corn, about 40 to 50. You're going to think you're not going to have enough, but trust me, this is quite a bit. You could even do more. I think the first time I did this, I did 60. Now, there are several videos of this little method on the internet, because this is the internet, so you've got to get used to seeing all kind of stuff everywhere. Okay, and by the way, you want to turn your heat down to low. And what they show you is they show you putting the kernels in with the caramels. Now, I can guarantee if you do that, you will burn your popcorn 100%. Because see how long this takes to melt properly? You don't have enough time before that popcorn goes nuts and you've already burnt your caramel and your popcorn. So I'm going to continue stirring this until this is nice and smooth, and we'll come back. Okay, the caramel is now nice and smooth. You want this nice, creamy, smooth ribbon texture here. Now, before I add it to my popcorn, I'm going to take my peanuts, my dry roasted salted peanuts, and I'm just going to drop, a healthy amount in there. What's a healthy amount? Well, whatever you think. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to mix them in. Now, you want to keep your heat on low, and it may even be where you need to take your caramel off the heat for a minute. If it starts getting too dark, you need to take it off and stir it while it's off the heat. And once you do that, you'll be fine. You'll be okay. Now, be careful. As you can see, adding peanuts will thicken this up pretty quick. So you want to make sure you get everything kind of coated. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to make sure everything has caramel on it, like this one does. And then we're going to dump our popcorn. Now, for our popcorn, I went ahead and got another bowl, half the size of the other one. Dumped about half my popcorn in there so I can put some caramel mixture in. And I'm going to pour that over it. And then I'm going to add, mix it in. I'm going to add some more popcorn. Now, we're getting through mixing our popcorn, and you're going to notice the caramel is going to be getting very painful to deal with. Now, if you need to, you can put it in the microwave for about 20 seconds or so to loosen it up and just soften it up. Don't do it too long because you will burn the popcorn and the caramel, and you don't want to do that. Now, it doesn't look like much right now. It's hard to kind of tell in the daytime and on the video. But in just a moment, we're going to have beautifully coated caramel corn. Ooh, buddy, would you look at that coated caramel corn there? This is delicious. Now, I made a mistake. I told you to transfer the popcorn to the smaller bowl to mix in with the smaller bowl. And as I was getting popcorn all over my stove, I remembered, no, you take some of the popcorn out and put it in the smaller bowl and mix in the big bowl. Now, technically, you only need to mix one batch with the amount of caramels that I gave you. I like leftover popcorn, which is why I did more. So, in that case, you mix it in with a spoon, and then you have to get down and dirty with your hands and continue mixing it in. I recommend wearing gloves just for safety reasons, but also be extra careful because the caramel will get very, very hot. Let it cool a little bit. Now, as you're working it in, you're just going to keep working it, and eventually it will get mixed in nice and pretty. You can microwave the popcorn for about 20 seconds at a time to loosen the caramel up and start molding it again. Store this in an airtight container or a Ziploc bag, and it'll keep for quite a while. It'll last a good month if you did it correctly, and I did that correctly. That's what you want your caramel corn to look like. Now, does the homemade caramel taste a whole lot better than the Werther's original? Absolutely. Do I have to do this big batch? No. You can do a small batch of popcorn, put a little bit of kernels in your paper bag without butter, boring, pop it, and then mix it in with your caramel. You can add salt if you want to afterwards, it won't hurt it. But don't use microwave popcorn, ever. Microwave popcorn is gross. Use the real popcorn, pop it yourself. You can even put a little bit of butter in there or toss it in melted butter, the popcorn butter after you're done. It's better than having the microwave popcorn, and trust me, the taste will be different. It'll be so much better. But you're asking the question, is this good? Ooh, buddy, let's see. Oh my goodness. That is delicious. Yes, you gotta do this. This is not gonna last long around here. All right, guys, as you can see, I now got my caramel corn in an airtight container. This is actually a salad bowl container I bought at Walmart a while back. It works really good for stuff like this. Now, one thing you may be thinking about is like, I see a lot of big clumpy popcorn in there. And that's probably gonna happen because caramel sticks quick, and especially the Werther's because it hardens really quick. Once you put it in your container or your Ziploc bag, just shake it up and it'll start breaking the popcorn off. You can also use your hands to break it apart once it cools, but be very careful. Now, the last question you may be asking is, Elin, you used another container. Well, of course I did. What's the point in cooking a video you've seen online if you can't mess up a bunch of stuff for other people to clean? Well, I'm the one that's got to clean it. But hey, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let's wrap this up. And I'm going to try not to eat all the popcorn in the meantime. There you go, folks. A little sweet treat for your sweet tooth. I hope you enjoyed the video. I mentioned earlier that this video was dedicated to a very special young lady. If I could just take an extra minute of your time to share about that. November 2023, my niece Hannah Mathis somehow beat me in the annual macaroni and cheese competition. I know, I was also very shocked because obviously I had the better tasting mac and cheese. It was creamier, it was tastier, it wasn't out of the box. I didn't bribe the people with something, whatever she bribed them with. I'm sure she bribed them with something because the judges were my mother-in-law, her granny, and our little cousin, who was the youngest, very influential child that was there. And then when the child couldn't make her decision, we went with her brother, who I also love very much and don't hold any of this against him. But I must admit to you that I, Elin Rees, lost the annual mac and cheese competition. If you'd like to send me your love, I'd love to see your thoughts in the comments below regarding that. But this video is dedicated to her. My video, Cheaters Caramel Corn, is dedicated to her. In all fairness, I did talk a lot of trash, but my mac and cheese was better. Love you, Hannah. Can't wait for your wedding. Hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for stopping by and joining us. Be on the lookout for new and exciting content. Hey, do me a favor. Give me a little like, a little thumbs up on this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. It's free. It only takes a second. We're marching toward 300 members right now. We're not even close. But eventually my goal is to get to 1,000. If we get to 1,000 by June, I'll have a great big giveaway. And I would really like to get to 1,000 subscribers by June. So hey, tell your friends about me. A silly guy that makes food that you can cook at home and impress your guests. Until next time, stay hungry. This is Big E. And welcome to the after show. I really need to find somebody to clean this up. Tracy, hey, can you come do this dishes for me? Tracy? Okay. Okay, I guess I'm doing the dishes. See you next time, folks.